Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Yeah, baby, what's up? Here we go. It is a Friday after the show podcast.
Yeah, Kevin!
Yeah, Jay Bird.
Virginia's not here.
Yeah, Buffalo.
She's posting stuff on social media already.
Oh, she is, huh? What's she doing?
Did you see her yesterday posting that one woman on the plane?
No, I didn't. What was going on with that?
She shamed a cat woman on the plane. There was a woman sitting next to her that had a cat, and she's allergic to cats.
Oh,
so I can't
right.
wait to hear about that. So she took a picture of the woman and put it on her Instagram.
Oh, dang. That's funny stuff. Yeah, because she's very passionate about that. We talked about that. Yeah, well, she's like, because people with their service animals, she's like going, okay, well, what makes, whatever it is you've got going on more important than my allergies? And she's like, yeah, it'll light me up.
Well, I think there's a difference between a service animal and an emotional support animal, and she's not down with the emotional support.
Right.
When people are trying to bring, fucking kangaroos into the plane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's just, that's insane.
Right. Yeah, she ain't going for that.
I mean, when you see that one peacock, remember the woman brought a peacock into the fucking airport?
That's just, honestly, it's just kind of it. I mean, to me, there's just, in life, there's sensible, right? And it's just, whenever I see stuff, I feel like I'm pretty middle of the road, pretty open-minded.
You're very middle of the road.
And then when you just see this ridiculous shit, you're just like, all right, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I can't take the over-the-top, politically correct, policing everything. You must follow under my moral code. If you don't follow it to the letter, I'm gonna try to stop you and shut you down. And you're really kind of doing you're contradicting your fight.
Yeah, and I'll say, as a dude who's a moderate, not belonging to any political party, a complete independent that just likes being independent because I never want to be roped into either one of the parties that I think are completely crazy. On both sides, the extreme conservatives and the extreme liberals keep pinging me even further into the middle and further away from their thing. When they either side of them acts the way they do, you're just like, gosh, I am so glad I'm not on either side of both of you. Because you're right, it's all ridiculous. And like we were reading earlier on the regular show, University of Wyoming under fire. They're the Wyoming Cowboys. And they've got a $500,000 marketing campaign about, I don't know, what is it? Everybody should be a cowboy or something like that. It's just like, okay, everybody's trying to get more people to go to the University of Wyoming, basically.
Because their mascot's the Cowboys, and that's all this is about.
It would be like my school's Ohio State. If they said everybody should be a Buckeye. That's all it is.
That's all this is about.
Yeah.
Let's not twist the words and make it into some kind of weird meaning that it's not.
But now they're saying that cowboy, the concept is racist and sexist. And first of all, it's like, yeah, cowboy. But it's not that it's sexist. I mean, you can be a cowgirl. I mean, I'm cowboy, cowgirl. You can be a cow person, whatever you want to be.
Who gives a flying fuck? It's a cowboy.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Well, and then the one thing is they're saying, well, it's cowboy's a white guy thing, and it's like, so it's showing again the dominance of, white privilege and all that kind of stuff was what the people who are attacking it is doing. And Kelsey sent in an email here. She said, I'm the person, or maybe one of the people who said that I grew up around ranches. I competed in rodeos, and I can personally attest that many cowboys are A, not men, and B, not white. The belief has probably come from the lack of accurate representation in Hollywood, which is something worth talking about, but it is factually inaccurate. From Wikipedia, census records suggest that about 15% of all cowboys were African-American ancestry, ranging from about 25% on the trail drives out of Texas to the very few in the Northwest. Similarly, cowboys of Mexican descent also average about 15% of the total, but were more common in Texas and the Southwest. Other estimates suggest that in the late 19th century, 1 out of every 3 cowboys was Mexican vaquero, and 20% may have been African-American. So, yeah, it just, shoots it in the ass. It's like, it's not a white guy thing.
Who sent that email?
This is from Kelsey.
Kelsey, excellent job. Fine email.
Yeah, so she goes on with a lot more great history points in here, but yeah, that's pretty much it is. She said, I know you may not get the chance to read this, but I hope you do, as the outrage is absurd, and as a cowgirl with a Native American grandfather, I really hate to hear this. And it is. It's just the stuff where it's like...
Well, all this outrage, it creates more outrage. Yeah. It gets people like me going, what the fuck? Why are you... You know, I would like people to lighten up a little bit. Just a hair.
Well, and we got an email at the same time. Somebody's like, oh, I'm listening to you guys in Tampa right now. And they sent a picture that's of someone that was holding up a very offensive, racially charged billboard, like just right on the street, and those are the kind of
let's call that out. Let's call that shit out, which really is racist.
Yeah, it completely was. Had the N-word on it.
Yeah, call that shit out.
It was, and he was like, "One, you know, the thing that was odd was the people that were holding the sign were black." So he's like, "I don't know really what's going on," but I mean, it's he said it was very confusing, but. You know, on top of it, there is still a lot of that racism that exists, and it's like, yeah, let's save the racist
for the moments when we need to really attack it.
Right.
So we can really, you know, give it validity and put a light on it.
Let's do that
say,
instead
that's bad.
Well, it's like, exactly. You take away power from the word racist when you're trying to call the University of Wyoming a racist organization.
I mean, we're fighting about cowboy.
Because
that's what we're doing.
Cowboy.
We're fighting about cowboy.
Yeah, exactly.
So. What are we doing here?
It's almost like every day people spin the wheel of outrage.
Well, you know, people think that we're only taking these one little small stories and this isn't the real, you know, this isn't how the world's going to be. But it is starting to bleed into culture. It's not just at the universities anymore.
It does, because, you know, I think it felt like it used to get showcased on social media because, like, oh, boy, look how ridiculous this is. But then people are going, yes, well, if people were saying it, this is where and I thought what people were posting up, because it was so insane, people then started following and started buying into the insanity.
Well, I'm just even noticing, not so much with even our show, but I'm just noticing little things trickling in, certain comments saying stuff where I'm just like, wait, what are you even talking about? That would be offended about the cowboy. Yeah. It is starting to bleed in slightly.
Right. And I got to tell you, I'm getting to a point, when it all started and I saw the amount of outrage, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be, you know, very, very careful with what I do. And now, oddly enough, it's kind of pushing me back to where it's like, I don't give a shit about your feelings. Like, I know how I feel. I know in my heart of hearts that I've got no ill will towards anyone of whatever you want to do.
Totally. If you know in your heart what you are, what you stand for, and if someone can't see that and they're going to twist shit, I don't, now you're right, I'm going the other way, and I'm like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, you're right. And that's ideally really what should happen. And I think places like the University of Wyoming, I would encourage people that just because you get attacked, that you shouldn't cave, because I think that's what happened. There's been some places that have caved on things that they shouldn't have, and that empowers the people saying, great, we toppled another barrier. Let's go after the next one.
We shut them up.
Yes, and so you give them power and encouragement, and that's why they're just running roughshod and going after ridiculous stuff now.
It's easy. I mean, it's easy just to label somebody a sexist all of a sudden. I mean, that's a terrible claim to throw at somebody.
Sure.
That's an attack on their character. You know, those words should not be...
They shouldn't throw them around lightly, and they need to be reserved for people that truly earn them.
Exactly. Not because you read something that you don't understand on Twitter, or something in a conversation you may not have heard.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It'd be wise for people to investigate their outrage before they become that.
Yes. That's a very good point. But it doesn't. It breeds more outrage. Outrage breeds more outrage.
It does, yeah. And that's why when I see, breathe, take a step back. Somebody texted in and said that cat's probably not a support animal. You can travel with your pet in the cabin. You just have to pay a fee. And I wonder where that is going to go. And this is the challenge of, you know, traveling with a pet. You know, Southwest just got rid of the peanuts, and because people had allergies. So I don't think anybody has the kind of allergy to a pet like you do to a peanut, because the people that have the peanuts, really, I mean, it can take their life, and I don't know that any kind of pet allergy is going to rival that. But you wonder if that is going to be something, will there be a challenge to you flying with your pets, because you'll have Virginias on board that, you know, just having a pet in the cabin will, you know, inflame their allergies, and they'll be sneezing, hacking, all that kind of stuff all over the place. And
well, she was making fun of Panda about how he had to sit next to the cat lady, and I guess something happened where their seats got changed, and she ended up Karma sitting right next to her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
And she was probably just losing her marbles.
Oh, she shamed the woman on I think then people started shaming Virginia. Why would you put an innocent woman on?
And then she started firing back.
Probably. See, outrage breeds more outrage.
Let me see here. We've got Megan. Said creepy things a kid has said in game night recommendations. Sorry, I'm a bit behind, but I was babysitting. When I was 16, the mother was pregnant with a fourth child to be named Bridget. The youngest girl at the time, Kate, was 2, and she put her baby doll in the soon-to-be Bridget stroller. She took me by the hand to the basement stairs and pushed the stroller down the stairs while looking me in the eyes. She was waving and saying, "Bye-bye, Bridget." She maintained eye contact as she walked from the basement through the kitchen, then sat in a chair and watched Elmo and was laughing hysterically. After this, I go to check on her 4-year-old brother, whom I had told to go put on pajamas, and he is in his bedroom on his back struggling to get in pajama pants while punching his boy part and screaming, "Go down, old man, go down." I suggested he try going to the bathroom to help. He went to the bathroom, came back, and said, "You really know how to make this old man fall asleep." Apparently he had a boner, and he called it the old man. The other kid was shoving a baby doll down the stroller that she was pretending to be her unborn baby sister. That's the creepy stuff. She said, side note, games to try if you like game nights. Jackbox party packs on Amazon. It's about $30, and you get a pack of 5. The room is controlled by a room code, and everyone plays from their phone. Drawful is amazing. Every person gets a prompt on their phone of what to draw, and it's usually ridiculous. For example, Rabbi Penguin, you get one color, and you only have your finger and your phone screw to draw. Everyone gets a chance to pick what they think your drawing is and then guess on what's the correct answer. Quiplash would be right up Jaybird's alley, as it's similar to Cards Against Humanity, but you write your own answers, and the crowd, anyone who accessed the room with your code, votes on the best answer.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, there are 4 party packs with 5 games each. The best part is if you have it on a Fire Stick, it can be easily moved from house to house, depending on who's hosting the game night.
Yeah, man, those games are such great fun. We have such great fun with it. It really is. It's very interactive. You would like it. It's a good drinking. They're very good drinking games.
Yeah, I've done done some of the game night stuff where people are using their TVs and cell phones and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool what they do with it now.
I love game night. It's so fun.
Yeah.
I take that shit seriously too.
Oh, I hear. Well, I can see what you do with games on this show. I can only imagine.
We keep records and shit.
Got this email, Sarah from Twitter. Hey, what's up, Sarah?
Sarah!
Just wondered if Jaybird ever watched Game Night and if you thought it was funny. Is that I think it's a movie. Yeah, I suggested a few months back when you guys were talking about Jason Bateman. I love Jason Bateman, and that movie cracked me up. I love all the awkwardness. Yeah, I've gone by it a couple times, and yeah, with your recommendation, Sarah, I'll jump on it.
I rented it. I fell asleep because it was late, and I totally forgot that I rented it, and I never watched it again. But I've heard nothing but outstanding reviews on that movie, and not from critics, from people.
Yeah, she said, also, did you guys see The Greatest Showman? Did you like it? If not, I'd recommend it. It's a great movie. Fast-moving and a great story. I watched it on a plane ride and got hooked right in. Lastly, I don't know if you guys watch other YouTube channels, but I work late hours editing and come across all sorts of stuff to entertain me and keep me busy while I work. And I came across a YouTube channel called Cut, and there are some pretty fascinating and entertaining videos on there. Yesterday, I watched one from their series called The Lineup, and they had to match the kink to the person. And just when I learned about ponying from you guys, I learned there are a ton more kinks out there. There is one where you act like a dog. There's one where you lay eggs inside of you.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes on and on. I saw somebody today in the chat room, they're talking about puppying, I think is another one.
Yeah, there's there. I mean, we've barely scratched the surface, my brother, with these fetishes. Trust me.
She said they also do a series called Fear Pong, which is hilarious. So anyway, have a great weekend. I'll be enjoying Sam Smith. Thanks to you guys. Thanks again. And also, what time will you be at Matthews Brewing on Saturday? It's 4 to 6. I'll be there. I'm the only one from the show that will be there. Maybe I'll make a pit stop on my way down to Miami for the concert. That'd be great. Come on by.
Sarah's awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing. Goes to the cocktails and karaoke like every week.
She makes her and her friends make that event because she brings so many of them, and they're always doing drunk girl trivia. I think the last 8 drunk girl trivias have been Sarah's friends.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. Nice work. Let me see. Somebody sent in the version of "Walk It Like I Talk It," that Migos song that we played the other day. That you just weren't really getting into, that trap music.
Yeah, people really took offense. I didn't like that song. My bad. I just don't fucking like the song. I don't want to tell you. It's just not my jam.
Yeah.
People really took offense to that.
Well, it's the trap music. It's a style of hip-hop that's out right now, and it's very popular. It dominates a majority of the hip-hop. I mean, aside from, Drake, it's pretty much, and Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the whole song. People are like, you got to hear the whole song. I've heard it plenty of times.
It's just the hotness.
I just don't like it.
Yep. And they make noises. And,
to me, it just sounds like he's not trying. But what the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
I'm still rocking Run DMC.
Just not your style. I hear you. This is actually pretty awesome, though. There's a Dr. Seuss book called "There's a Wocket in My Pocket."
Okay.
It's a wocket in my pocket. And listen to this. These guys actually, he is reading the book. He's going through the pages, but he has completely worked the Dr. Seuss book, "There's a Wocket in My Pocket," to Migos' "Walk It Like I Talk It."
This won't get us kicked off?
I don't think so. This is not copyright. It's just the bed. It's not the song. Yeah, I think we're okay on this. Yeah, there's a wocket in my pocket.
Ready? You got your angle. Yep, I need to get mine.
Okay. And this is just like a dry take, too. He's just got the camera just sitting at the dining room table.
Yeah. Dr. Seuss. Hey. Here we go.
There's a bucket in my pocket. There's a bucket in my pocket.
Walk it in my pocket.
Huh?
Walk it in my pocket.
Okay.
Walk it in my pocket. There's a walk it in my pocket. Walk it in my pocket. Walk it in my pocket. Seuss. In my pocket, there's a walk it in my pocket. Did you ever have a feeling? There's a basket in your basket, or a neural in your bureau, or was it in your closet? Sometimes I feel quite certain there's a jerkin in the curtain. Sometimes I have a feeling there's a zop behind the clock, and that zap up on the shelf. I have talked to him myself. I said that zap up on the shelf. I have talked to him myself. That's the kind of house I live in. There's an ink up in the sink, and that zap up in the lamp, and they're nice. I really think. And some of them are friendly, like that yacht up in the pot, but that yatto in the bottle. Some are friendly, some are not. Like that Zabo on the table and that gear under the chair, but that Bofo on the sofa. Well, I wish he wasn't there. And those numbers in the cupboards, yeah, they're fun to have about. But that new brush on my toothbrush, see him, I could do without. And
imagine if you're like reading at a school and you could do this version. The kids be like, whoa.
You probably could. They'd probably love it.
Yeah.
In the chimney, I don't like him at all, and it makes me kind of nervous when the Zarsos down the hall and the yips up on the steps. They are great to have around.
But see, what I love is you can really hear the trap style here. It's just somebody in the background. All they do is go, what? Yeah. That's trap music right there, man. That's awesome. That was very well done.
You say crap?
Yeah, some people call it that.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
There's a wocket in my pocket. I like that a lot better. Got a question here from Heather from the Pizzle. She said, hey, I was just hoping for some help and advice with my iTunes music. I got a little road trip going up this Friday afternoon. I'm trying to make a banging karaoke playlist, so any help would be appreciated.
Karaoke playlist?
Yeah. I just want to make some of the playlists like Kevin was talking about, but when I start to add music, it asks me in order to enable music, I either have to keep the music I own or delete and replace. How do you guys have it set up?
Denny's?
Yeah. I guess I want to keep it, but I'm weird with my music on my iTunes. I had a traumatizing experience in my high school days when iPods were a thing, and somehow all my owned music that I bought from iTunes got deleted.
Oh, that happened to me too. I get the fear.
Yeah, I'm just afraid of something like that happening again. So it's Heather here from the Pizzle. She's wanting to know what to do with her iTunes music. She is trying to make some playlists, but she said I either have to keep the music I own or delete and replace, it's telling her.
Yeah, so what that means is if I have an an iTunes account on my computer and I have my iPhone or iPod and that's what I'm plugged into, I sync those two devices, they're paired. So every time that I sync those devices, it deletes everything that's on there and then it just restores it with the additional changes that I made. So that's kind of like a normal message. The only time it can get weird or misconstrued is if you have another device that is not typically plugged into that iTunes account, in which case it would delete everything on your iPod and then put whatever is on that iTunes on your, that's what it's referring to.
So what should she do?
So if it's all her own music, she's been paired to that iTunes with that device. When she replaces all of that stuff, it should be the same stuff that's on the computer that's on her phone.
She's got walls though, Denny. She had her music deleted when she was in high school.
So a lot of times when that goes down like that, say I went to my friend's house and I plugged my iPhone into his and I was grabbing a song from him, it's going to erase everything that's on mine and replace it with whatever he has checked off on his. In that case, you would lose all your stuff. But if it's your account where all the music is stored and it's your device which is paired to that account, then you really shouldn't lose anything. It would be whatever you had on your account.
Okay.
Now, if it was an old-ass phone or iPod and you had a bunch of music from before, but now you're on a new account and you go to pair it, you will lose all that stuff on that iPod because it's going to update it to the most current one on the device, the computer iTunes account.
Look at my boy, just fucking crushing.
Just bam.
It's so confusing. I hate how it's all designed like that. It's really...
It is, because I the same thing she did. I remember I had it on my iPod. I did something, and I lost all of the music that I bought on iTunes, and I was pissed. And then I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to download that shit illegally.
I used to work at Apple, and people would come in so mad. There was no level to the rage you would see from people.
You got to check out this one video, Kev, on this woman on YouTube. She goes into an Apple store. It's like a 10-second clip, and she just goes, "Nobody's helping me." She's so mad. She's
lost her mind.
Loses her shit, man.
I get it though.
There's compilations of people losing their cool at the Apple store.
Oh, it's great. It's so good.
Just one after another of disappointment.
Honestly, about the only time I ever lose my cool is when it has something to do with my computer or technology.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, just like yesterday, I was sitting there and I was freaking driving. I plug in my phone to the aux jack and I listen to podcasts, and it's just sitting there and it keeps going to voice control, comes up on my phone. I'm like, what? And so it stops the podcast, and I'm like, what the and it was doing it like every 2 minutes, and I'm like, and I'd try to delete out of it, and I'd put it back on the seat, and then bing, and I'm like, I just need to take the voice control off because I never use it because it's completely useless.
It does. The thing that will get me is when a computer or a piece of machinery is supposed to do this function that it always does.
Yeah.
And it's every single day. It's like, oh, A, B, and C equals this, and then it doesn't do that. It starts breaking the fucking rules.
Yeah.
And it starts doing this shit.
Ain't cool, man.
It's not cool. It
Not
brings
cool.
out the werewolf in me. I'm like, fuck you. I get so mad.
I know.
I get so mad.
I'm the same way, man.
Everybody's worried that robots and machines are going to take over, but think about how many technical issues on a daily basis you come across with a device.
Oh, yeah.
And then think about a machine. There's nobody to take care of it because people would have to take care of those for a machine. You just can't have an issue with them. They're always going to have some sort of fault to them. They're never going to be able to repair themselves.
Probably not.
How many mind bombs can this cat drop in 10 minutes?
He's on fire.
Well, I just don't like worry about the computers taking over, I guess you could say.
He's on fire, man. What are you going to do? Got an email here from Tom, and he said, Denny's awesome segment on our country's weird history.
Good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think you'd appreciate this story. Look up the 1972 Erie Canal Soda Pop Festival. It was an attempt to recreate Woodstock of '69. Insane story. Enjoy. It's from 3 years later. What had happened was they decided to put together this music festival in Evansville, Indiana, and just a random field. And they had all these acts, including like Black Sabbath, Joe Cocker, the Allman Brothers, Cheech and Chong,
All right.
Fleetwood Mac, Bob Seger.
This sounds like a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
The Eagles were on this. I mean, just all these amazing artists. Santana, is all that. And it says here, like, so they had this bill of all these artists. However, like, only bands that pretty much showed up was Foghat, Santana, Cheech and Chong, and Eagles. I don't know if that's the Eagles or if it's just a band called Eagles. And so what happened was during the festival, which was on Labor Day weekend in 1972, they had a whole bunch of issues because food and water were in short supply. There was a torrential rain that soaked the festival. A truck bringing food into the festival was hijacked, looted, and burned. When some vendors overcharged for food and drinks, the crowd turned over many of the RVs and robbed the vendors. Drugs were freely available in a makeshift shopping district where dealers openly displayed their illegal goods. Numerous bands quickly canceled, and 3 concert-goers drowned in the Wabash River. As the festival ended, what was left of the crowd destroyed the music stand by fire. The promoters later explained that they had sold 30,000 advance tickets for $20, and they'd estimate a crowd of no more than 55,000, and they weren't prepared for the 200,000 people that showed up.
Oh, man.
Chaos.
That's awesome.
They say the promoters were then sued for pretty much the rest of their life.
Oh, my God.
They're in contempt of court, fined them to several $1,000s. So, yeah, the Erie Canal Soda Pop Festival.
I'm going to definitely look that up.
I love hearing about those kind of stories. There's so many crazy stories like that from back in the day that you never even heard of. And you're like, this really happened?
Yeah. That's amazing. Having listened to the segment from the July 4th firework or adult toy, you guys should do a segment on dog toy or adult toy. Some of the dog toys out there are hilariously questionable. Buy the dog toys and donate to a local shelter after the show, and donate the adult toys to Virginia. Okay. It's from Melissa.
Are they saying in appearance they look similar?
Or the names?
Or the names?
I don't know. I would assume names, because otherwise it would only be a visual thing. But, yeah, I mean, if they look similar, then yeah, how many housewives are out there banging themselves with their dog toys?
Yeah, I would have noticed by just buying shit for Chewy if things look like a vibrator. Something tells me that'd stand out for me.
Yeah,
I think it probably the names. I'd imagine.
Gotcha, that's weird. They have crazy names like that.
Like what? Like the dick sucker?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what dog toys is it called? Like the Big Bone or Throbbing Bone or something?
What could they actually say?
Yeah, I don't know. She did not include any examples.
Dog toys that sound perverted. I'm on it, Coach.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them look like it. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it.
Well, there is one that looks like it. The Hyper Pet Realtree looks like a furry dildo.
Yeah, here's one. 7 dog toys that would fit right in an adult toy store. The Dog Egg, the Dura Squeak, which just looks like a dildo.
Oh yeah,
man, look at that
one
thing.
looks like a double-sided dildo.
The Flirt Pole Doggy Exercise toy looks like one of those like floggers.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Oh
that.
my gosh.
The Go Active.
Yeah,
Nylabone? That looks like it looks like they have nuts at the end of it.
the Kong, Jaw Robics dog toy. Yeah, it looks like a big pulsating kind of thing.
Oh, there's a lot of.
Oh my
look
gosh.
at that one.
I mean,
Yeah, so it's in visual. Yeah, so you could basically just take a picture of like a adult toy or dog toy.
I mean, the Kong
Could be a
safe
visual bit.
sticks looks
That is
just
pretty
like
funny.
I mean,
a dildo.
Yeah,
shame on them.
Some of those dildos I don't understand. I feel like they're more for novelty because they have all these like weird like designs on there.
Yeah.
Do chicks really like ridges?
Or if like the center like gyrates, I guess you would.
I
right?
mean, the gyrating I would get, but some of them they're made where there's like a lot of ridges on there. Are chicks into? Would they want a rigid dick?
Fortunately, you've got no chicks in here today.
I'm just trying to keep it.
I think they want a rigid dick every now and then.
Well, I'm just asking. I know you have the ribbed condoms for her pleasure, they say, but do they want ribbed? I don't know.
I think so.
Gotta save that question for Virginia on Monday.
I would actually really like to know.
Okay.
Well, you guys were when I asked the 69 question about do married couples 69, you guys didn't have much to say, and I got a lot of feedback on that personally.
Okay.
People were coming up to me at appearances that were married talking about 69 in.
They were, huh?
They were. Some couples are still into it. As a married couple, one couple was 10 years in, they were still 69 like crazy, they said.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Got this email here. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, it
I've got
sounds hot.
nothing left to say.
I'm not over here trying to silence the room.
Yeah.
I'm
We
just-
get it. You like 69.
Yeah, I just have nothing else to say. Good for you, and I got another email.
I'm just asking.
Greg sent an email. He said, what's up, boys? I was listening to the program on the podcast. I heard y'all talking about 4-day work weeks. I've been very fortunate to have been able to work 4 days a week multiple times in the last 15 years, consistently having off Saturday and Sunday. For a few months, I had Wednesday off. Years later, I had Thursdays off. And for the last year and a half, I've had Mondays off. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday off was epic and by far the best combination of 3 days off. The other days was also just 8-hour days, which makes it nice as well. That is pretty awesome. Greg in the 772, and not the Greg that was out with AJ, the hot slob from today's show. And Jerby, go fuck yourself. There you go. All right, good stuff. Got an email here from Braden. Said, hey, I was listening to Clint Eastwood's other show for the first time.
That's right, you are Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. And in the intro, I thought it was funny how it says Kevin was begging for a sports show, and they finally gave it to him. Yeah, that's funny. I noticed that as well. They do that intro. I did not write those, and I was like going, motherfucker, who's begging for a sports show?
Oh, they wrote those for you.
Yeah, it says something like, Kevin, what was he? He always wanted a sports show, and we always shot him down or something like that. And
like,
but then we finally gave it to him.
Yeah, after years of begging, we finally gave in. And I'm like,
so it sounds like you're just pining to be on the air.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm just like, oh, please, let me do a sports show. No, for the record, the motherfuckers came to me. Yeah, just to set the record straight, I never once asked for a fucking sports show.
Did you not approve those liners?
No, there's somebody else like on the show. I don't know who put them together, but yeah, like I listened the first time. I'm like going, I almost stopped it down and going, look, for the record, I never once asked for a damn sports show.
No, it's crazy when somebody else writes something for you and you don't have no idea. I remember.
Yeah, it makes it sound like I'm just like walking through the halls. Please, back
at Wild.
I want to do more work.
They did that to me back at Wild. The sales guy wrote the entire thing, and someone else voiced it. It was like, watch the crazy, the wacky Jaybird. I was like, oh, who the fuck wrote this? Oh, my gosh.
Well, because, people who don't listen, they're thinking that, like you're writing all the stuff.
They do, yeah.
And it's just like, you got to come on to that. And I'm like going, every time and I hear it, I'm like, ugh.
You won't believe what he believes in. It's Bigfoot.
Yeah. I'm going to have to either change or just come on and be like, going, for the record.
Is that cheese dick stuff?
For the record, I've never once asked for a sports show.
You should cut a new one. It's like, he didn't even want this show.
Yeah, you should. The more honest approach.
Right.
Our boss came to him and he said, well, yes,
One afternoon, our boss Leo surprised Kevin in his office and caught him off guard when he asked, hey, why don't you do the sports show? Kev said, I don't know. Can I have like a month to think about it?
Kevin felt pressured.
Didn't want to let the company down. Found out they weren't making a lot of money on the corporate level. Found out they were desperate and the station had no ratings.
Doesn't really want to do it.
Tired every day. It's just too long of an intro that way. But let's tell the true story. Yeah, that's what really happened for the record. He said, I also have an idea for another podcast for Jaybird, considering his knowledge of fetishes. It should be called Diaries of a Fetish Fairy.
That would actually be an interesting podcast. If I did interview people with fetishes and they'd be open and honest, I don't hate that idea. I just don't have that much time. But I do love that idea. I think that'd be fascinating.
4 years, Jaybird wanted a show about fetishes.
That is, it is true, though.
After years of begging, we finally broke down.
I love it.
We got it written for you. Got an email here from Katie. Said, hey, I just want to thank you guys for doing what you do. I just defended my thesis on bats and white noise syndrome here at Clemson after working on it since March of 2016. Good heavens.
Wow.
I got 2 weeks to finish up edits before I turn in my final thesis to the graduate school, and after graduation, I'll be a Master of Science. Very cool. You've been with me throughout this experience, and you have really helped me through the low times, one of which I'm in right now. Unfortunately, it's too bad Kevin and I couldn't meet up last fall, but I'm glad he got the Clemson gear I sent him. You guys are the best. Katie from Clemson, and somewhere new soon, I hope.
What a specific thesis or whatever she's working on.
I know, right? Yeah. Going through there. Yeah, I'd tried to when I went up to Clemson in the fall for a game, was hoping to meet up with Katie, but didn't realize we didn't really go into town that much. So I was kind of hoping to kind of hit the whole city and the town there of Clemson.
Well, she's about to get in the workforce. Good for her.
Yeah, that is very cool. And hopefully be up again soon. If you're still there, Katie, hopefully next time we'll be able to get and hang out with you. Also got an email from Stacy. Said, listen to you guys on the way to work and then switch to your live feed when I get to work for much needed entertainment. Just wanted to tell Kevin that as a huge Steeler fan from Pittsburgh, I'm loving his shirt this morning. Surprising choice for a guy from Ohio. LOL.
Yeah, you love the Steelers, don't you?
Yeah, and people from Ohio are like going, oh my gosh, you're a traitor, huh? And I always explain to them, no, not really, because everybody thinks I should be a Cleveland Browns fan because that's one of the teams that are from there. But I grew up 4 hours from Cleveland, 3 hours from Cincinnati, has a pro team, and 2.5 from Pittsburgh. So actually the city closest to me, where I grew up, is Steelers. And we kind of, where I'm from, that part of Ohio, it blends in a lot more with the sensibilities of West Virginia and Western Pennsylvania.
Do you know who else is a big-time Pittsburgh Steelers fan?
Your dad, Randy Pennington.
Oh, my dad loves the Steelers. He gets so into their games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lifelong fan. So.
I actually loved Pennsylvania. I would love to go back there.
That's
it's
nice.
beautiful up there.
That's nice. Yeah, great people there.
People hate on Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it's just, and people who hate on the area I'm from, but I think it's just, for the fact there's not a lot to do. And they've got to, when you're there, you got to make your own fun. And so people, go there and be like, oh my gosh, this place is, and I get it. But yeah, you learn how to make different things fun.
You could live in one other state than Florida. You have to move the entire family, and we'd have to do a show there. What state would you feel good about leaving if we had to move?
Leaving to go to?
Yeah.
California.
You would. So if they offered us a show, we had nothing else here in Florida, California would be something you'd be into.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Because I love California.
Just because the way it looks?
Yeah, it's beautiful. The climate's fantastic, first of all. I love sunshine. Like, I can't do winters. I'm not a big fan of winter. And so California is fantastic. It's beautiful. There's everything from the oceans to the mountains, and they're just really chill. It's like a state full of Denny's.
I could do California. If we had to go to California, I could make that work.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Northern California is supposedly very cool.
Yeah, in fact, I always thought when I was in California, there's a town called Santa Cruz. And it's where they filmed a movie called The Lost Boys, if you remember that.
I think that's where I ended up going. I went to one of the Santas while we were there, and I think it was Santa Cruz, man. I remember you telling me that story.
Was it on the ocean?
Yes, it was on the ocean.
Okay, it could have been, yeah. Could have been Santa Cruz. It's beautiful, and they've got kind of like that boardwalk area.
That's exactly where I went. Thank you for saying that. I always thought I went to Santa Monica. I went to Santa Cruz.
Yeah, forever. I'm like, well, man, when I just, and I have always kind of thought, hey, one day, like, life will get quiet. And if it does, there's two places I want it to get quiet and just, Kev chills. And Key West is probably, that's where I'd like to go. Or honestly, Santa Cruz to me is the West Coast Key West. It's kind of like the same mentality. There's like, oddball people there that I just love. I love unique oddball people. And
Oregon's pretty nice, too. I mean, it's still kind of the same
rainy,
thing.
Yeah.
It is very rainy.
Yeah. So, yeah, probably California. And the problem with California, in fact, we almost, once upon a time, Virginia and I, before you joined the show, we had an offer to go to San Francisco and thought, almost went for it. I was like, oh, man, because I loved it. It's so expensive there. And the cost of living's crazy, and you got to make so much money to afford to live. I mean, if you're living in the city and to do the radio, we would have had to been in the city.
I remember when we were considering going to Nashville too at one point. Remember that?
Yeah. Nashville. That was about the last serious out of Florida. Yeah, where I was like, okay, and after that, I'm like, we're Florida bound.
I love Florida. I love South Florida. I mean, I was born and raised here. It really is. I mean, yeah, deal with the heat, but I mean, the ocean. And then you go in the middle of the state, there's the woods. There's a lot of shit, a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. So that would be the next place that I would go, without a doubt.
What about you, Denny's?
Another state to go to?
Yeah.
I'm kind of like West Coast bound. I would say Northern California, Oregon, Colorado, any of the above.
Yeah, all of those I'd be cool with.
So we could do Northern California
Totally.
Yeah, I always had an affinity for Northern California.
Well, you would love. I mean, the climate. It's pretty much always like high 50s to. I mean, San Francisco. I think gosh, I mean, every now and then they get a scorcher, but I mean, it's like typically like 70s, low 80s.
Isn't California big on political correctness, like over the top?
Yeah, they really are. That's the tough thing. I mean, they got Cal Berkeley, which is real liberal. That whole area is very liberal. And so, yeah, that would be, and I was there in the 90s, and it was kind of cool, and it fit into it then. I was really down with it, but...
I'm just thinking about if we did our show, and over there, would people have, a problem with the way we talk and some of the content?
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I
think
think
it's so different, in the same country.
They would probably see us as being very conservative.
They would think we're conservative?
Probably.
Really?
Yeah, definitely, at least me. Yeah, because I'm not ultra, like I said, I'm middle of the road guy, but a middle of the road guy is like, can't even believe it. So, yeah, it's different, but it's a cool little place. So, who knows, but we're not going anywhere.
No, this is all fantasy, baby.
Yeah, it's all fantasy. All right, well, we're going to get on with our weekend. You guys do the same thing. Have a great time. Hopefully see you guys out. Found out a little bit about the Matthews Brewing with the half-priced tickets to the Palm Beach Summer Beer Fest that we're doing. There is apparently a limited amount. I'm trying to find out exactly how many. I'll try to let you know on social media because I'm like going, please don't put me in a Build-A-Bear situation. Where people are showing up trying to get half-price tickets and we run out and then all of a sudden I'm the bad guy and people burn down Matthews Brewing. So I'm like, can we not do that? VIP tickets are not going to be half-price there. So you can't, they're like, no, those are still VIP and you're going to have to pay full price on those. So I know some people were asking. It's going to be between 4 and 6 tomorrow, Lake Worth Brewing. Love to see you guys out there, just kind of chilling for the weekend. So I know Jaybird is going to be out at Roger Dean Stadium with Denny's and Suits. That's going to be tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
First pitch, 4:30. The Pirates and Princesses. You can go to littlesmilesfl.org to get tickets. Sit in the KVJ Cool Zone. You guys got anything else exciting going on this weekend?
I think we're going to record some music with my dad.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you guys hopefully going to make a soccer video too?
That's correct.
See if that's going on.
No, we're hoping. To be quite honest with me, she doesn't listen to the podcast, but she's been really tough to deal with this week.
Oh, okay.
This is the third attempt of trying to get this video done.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so it's outside. It's the sun's out.
Oh, geez. Yeah, it's hot. It's hot. Yeah. I'm going to Okeechobee tomorrow morning.
Really?
So,
Boulevard?
No, actually going to Okeechobee proper.
For what?
Going out to Okeechobee Shooting Sports.
You're going to go?
Gonna go out shooting again, yeah.
No way. Look at
try
that.
Cool. Yeah, it's fun. I gotta take y'all out there sometime.
I'd love to go just to watch.
No, you should do it.
I'm not good at it. I'll watch.
You won't shoot yourself.
Okay.
I don't think.
All right.
You might.
Grab this audio.
Okay.
Yeah, shoot your eye out, kid.
Just have it saved.
Right. We'll play it at your funeral.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have an amazing weekend. We'll talk to you later.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.